What's happening, everybody? Today on the Dane Carter Show, we are sitting down with Robert J. O'Neill. You might recognize his name as the Navy SEAL of SEAL Team 6 that shot and killed Osama bin Laden, one of the worst terrorists in our history. I'm super honored and super grateful to be sitting down with this man. We're going to dive very deep into the ins and outs of into the training of that particular day and what his life looks like now as he's retired from the Navy. Stay tuned. This will be fire. So good.
Nice to meet you.
How's it going? Super good to meet you.
Just don't touch that cake. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Totally.
I don't mess with anybody's sugar, especially mine. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and you get slapped. Very, very humble, very successful, but still just all about service. Like, just wants to help people. So if you kind of go back and just like see the guests that we have on the show, it's very much people that aren't just about all the commas and zeros in the bank, and it's way more than just money.
Gotcha.
What's happening, everybody? Today, we have a very, very, very special guest on this show. We've had a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that have done some really big things in their lives, and a lot of people that have given back. I don't think we've had a guest that's done it at this level as this man right here. We're here today with Robert O'Neill. If you don't know who Robert is, you are about to. If you have been hiding under a rock for the past 9 years and have no clue who he is, I'm here to help you out with that. Robert is one of the greatest Navy SEALs to ever walk the planet, done 400 combat missions, 52 decorations in the military. I could go on and on just about that part for an hour, but we're going to get straight to it. Robert, thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Absolutely, Andy. Thank you.
No, for sure. So we're going to jump straight into kind of where you started, why the book is so important to you, and why that the thing with Osama bin Laden wasn't just the book.
No.
Right? That was an event in your life.
It was part of the whole story.
Part of your whole
It's
story.
a chapter of the book.
Correct. And that's what I think is so wildly important to get across. It's not, the guy that shot Osama bin Laden. It's Robert O'Neill, the man, the soldier, the husband, the father.
Yeah, first it was Robert O'Neill, the boy.
Right, the boy from Butte, Montana.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would just love to hear kind of where you started, why you chose the military, and then why it was so important to maybe leave a little bit early.
Well, the name of the book is The Operator because I'm not calling myself the operator. It's a story about the life of the operator, which is, there's a lot of them out there.
Yes.
Every branch of service. There's operators in obviously Marines, in the Army, in the Coast Guard. And there are people doing the job as the operator. And a lot of us got there to the positions that we are because of a similar attitude. The book is not about bin Laden. The book is about how a guy that could be on the cover of Decent Shape magazine,
Right,
that didn't know how to swim, ended up being a Navy SEAL at the elite SEAL team, and then found himself on a lot of the high-profile missions people have heard of. I was on the mountain when we rescued the lone survivor, Marcus Luttrell, lead jumper for the rescue of Captain Richard Phillips from Somali pirates in the bin Laden raid. I was on the base when Bo Bergdahl walked off, just a lot of the high-profile stuff. But it wasn't because I was an exceptional athlete or a tough guy. It's because I had a good attitude, never quit attitude, avoided negativity and negative people, and just stayed positive one step at a time. A long-term goal is one meal at a time. And that's the way a lot of people did it, just a great attitude. Most Navy SEALs, most special operators are the same way. They're normal guys with great attitudes.
and an incredible sense of humor. I've been around a lot of operators, and that's something that really sets you guys apart.
Well, the humor is there just because it gets so bad a lot of times that you just need to laugh at yourself.
100%.
Like the little things, like being a Navy SEAL, 90% of it sucked.
Right.
Like being a sniper looks cool on TV and sounds cool on paper. It sucks.
Until you're sitting there
Like
for 4 days and
4 days staring at a what you think should be a city but no one's there type stuff, and you're trying to entertain
Right.
yourself. Jumping out of planes with a boat trying to track a ship is not at night is not fun. And we would have guys when we're training in Virginia Beach. You do the jump, you get in the water, and you're in the boat, and all of a sudden someone breaks out a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken to share with everyone. It's like, what is?
Like, where'd you even get that?
How is this here, and why do you have it? It's like, well, let's enjoy the suck together with a piece of delicious chicken.
yes, and it's so smart because it's literally like the hardest job with the highest level of risk, and if you'll go insane
If you
don't
can't laugh yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that beauty in being like unforgiving with not being a victim no matter what, mixed with exactly what you said, which is
never being the victim,
Never
which
being
is a
the
good one too.
victim. Yeah.
Which there's a difference too. We could say, you guys complain a lot. Say, no, we don't complain. We bitch. There's a difference.
Huge
You can
difference.
bitch all you want. Stop complaining.
yeah, and then it's fun because everybody's bitching about something, and then it makes the time
It
go
does.
by.
Embrace the suck.
Of course,
Just embrace it.
and you have to embrace the suck. And I have the smallest fraction of tiny. It was a 3-day experience, and they were trying to simulate Bud's Hell Week for 3 days, and I had to go through it. I actually chose to go through it. It was incredible. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, these dudes do this for like a month, and we slept I think 3 hours in 3 days, and it was insane.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it's a long time. 3 days is a long time. Our Hell Week is Sunday to Friday, and it's you don't get a sleep. You get a total of 2 to 4 all week.
But you're in
That's
so
just
much
sitting down.
pain, you're not
You
really
We
sleeping.
don't even know you're supposed to sleep. They let you sit down and they're yelling at you. That's your sleep time.
Right.
You don't realize you're just sitting there. Then I've seen guys fall asleep standing up.
Yeah.
It's a tough time, and it's again one meal at a time. Your goal is not to get to Friday. Your goal is to make it to lunch.
Yeah, and that's what I've kind of heard is that it's really easy just to, not easy by any means, but to start to condition the mind around one
thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, and it's the long-term goal is not Friday. It's Wednesday morning when the sun comes up, because at that point, being awake, you're going to start to hallucinate and you just go through the motions, which is all you need to do. You need to just keep 1 foot forward.
Survive.
Yeah, you don't worry about winning any races. Don't worry about it.
No one's trying to be first.
And there are races too. It's like, guys, we're going to win the race. Guess what? You won the race. We're still all in Hell Week.
Yeah, and you get like a little more water maybe or something.
You get to sit down.
you get to sit down.
You get to sit by the fire, which you never want to do. Don't warm up. Just stay cold.
Yeah.
You'll get warm on Saturday.
Yeah, and just suffer continuously. So I love the story. Love the book. The book is absolutely incredible. And there's so much value in the book. And I really want to talk about the foundation a little bit further on. Mm-hmm. I did not know that until about 4 days ago of that foundation.
Oh, yeah. You're a great foundation. Mm-hmm.
I want to be a huge part. I think it is incredible.
It is. It is incredible. We're transitioning more and more guys right now. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean,
I started that because I got out at almost 17 years, not 20.
There is a gentleman that I'm actually helping coach right now. He just retired Navy, and he was lost. He's like, I don't really know what to do.
Most vets are like that.
Yeah, and it's very, very common. So, and there's ways to fix it, especially you have so much elite training mentally, elite training with the ability to train other teams and salespeople. Yeah. And then there's so much out there.
Well, teamwork and problem solving, stress management, and loyalty.
That's it.
It is the whole, doesn't matter who gets credit as long as we get the job done. That's what it's like.
And that's the true definition of building a team and executing as a team.
Yeah. And even as leaders in that position, if I can figure out how to effectively communicate with my guys why it's important that they're there as part of the team, they're going to work harder.
Of course. It's that tribe-like mentality, and then everybody's going for the same.
A lot of people, because especially in the military, they say, well, I'm going to tell you what you're doing, but not why, because it's compartmentalized. And for some reason, people think that's cool. It's not cool. Tell them why they're doing it. They'll be better.
And you can share in it. So I 100% agree with you. Okay, cool. So let's maybe walk through why you got in the military. And I love the story of how you kind of got the bait and switch.
Yeah, the the first sentence in The Operator is, I owe my career as a Navy SEAL to a girl.
Right.
Because I was doing well in Montana. I was playing college basketball and enjoying life, and I was going to get a degree and have a job there, and I got dumped by a girl.
Yep.
And the easiest way out of Montana is join the military. So I went to join the Marine Corps because I wanted to be a sniper, because my father and I hunted quite a bit, and I thought I knew how to shoot. And Marines have the best snipers in the world as far as I knew. And so I went to join, and as luck would have it, the Marine wasn't there, but the Navy guy was. And the only reason I went to talk to him is because, I had 2 Marines tell me that the Marine Corps is actually part of the Department of the Navy. It's just the men's department.
Right.
And that's why I walked in, because if anyone's going to know where the Marine is, the Navy guy will.
Of course.
And he just said, well, why do you want to be a Marine? I said, I want to be a sniper. And he said, well, we have snipers in the Navy. You join here, become a SEAL first, no big deal. We'll send you to
Yeah, it's a
sniper
piece of
school.
cake. You just be a SEAL first.
Breeze right over that. And I signed, and then I saw a video, and I was really in for it. But again, with a positive attitude, I was like, well, okay, I get to leave. I'll go check out boot camp in Great Lakes. I'll get orders to San Diego, get to live in the barracks on a really nice beach. I probably won't make it. Then I'll just go to a ship, get some sea stories, and see a little bit of the world. The Navy joke is join the Navy and see the world from 15 miles away.
That's right.
Yeah, and I figured that would be it. And I come back home, I could finish college and have sea stories, and then I made it through the training. And one evolution at a time. I always thought, because I didn't know how to swim, I was going to fail a swim, but that never happened.
That's another incredible piece of the story. That is more common than I thought. I've actually spoke to a couple SEALs, and there was a few of them that couldn't swim. I'm not sure if you know Drago.
Oh,
part
yeah.
Of the,
I worked with Drago a long time.
He's a great guy. So I actually stayed.
His English actually got worse.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
And he's an awesome guy.
Yeah, incredible.
His story's crazy, but he was in and couldn't swim. And it was one of those things where it's like that was a little more common than I thought.
Yeah. We did have collegiate water polo players and collegiate swimmers there, and it does help to be that level.
Of course.
But it also sometimes not knowing what to do because you don't have any bad technique. And you're swimming the side stroke, so just learn how to keep your hips near the water, how to swim in one direction and kick.
Keep it simple.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing. There's this. It's blissful to be ignorant sometimes because you don't know how hard it's going to be because you there's no frame of reference, right? So if you can actually I'm just going to go figure out how to swim.
Yeah.
How hard could it really be?
Yeah. They were good too. Our class was they sent a swimmer and surfer with me to help guide. So he was good to me. But we swam pretty much every swim together, and we never failed.
Swimming buddies are important.
Yeah.
Are important.
I mean, some guys were crushing us, and we would only pass the swims by 2 minutes. But yeah,
pass is a pass.
It is, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pass is a pass is a pass. So the kid with a broken heart that was playing college basketball decided to go in the military, that couldn't swim to be a sniper because you love to hunt.
Yes.
And that turned into a 16-plus year career.
Yeah, it did, because I finished SEAL training, finished what's called SEAL Tactical Training. It was at the time, STT. Got my trident, the insignia from Naval Special Warfare at SEAL Team 2, and was put into a platoon. And they sent me to sniper school right off the bat, so I became a sniper before my first deployment. And it's one of those things where time's kind of flying by. My enlistment's almost up. Now I made it, and I'm with the guys, and they're so cool, and they're so funny. And time's almost up. It's like, hey, I'm young. I'm going to re-enlist.
Might as well hang out.
Yeah, we're having a blast. We're going to Oktoberfest. I was in Lithuania, went to Norway, Stonehenge. We got to work a lot with the Special Boat Service, the SBS, who those guys are hilarious.
They like to party too.
And they do. And their humor, Brit's humor is so great. I always consider it's like ours, like a piano, but theirs is the F sharp.
That's right.
They're the other keys. It's like, that was funny, but just a little different.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it.
And they're that good. I love those guys. So then I re-enlisted and I did some more deployments. We were able to do a few things. Drago and I were on the mission that took down a Russian tanker, the Volga-Neft, and in the Persian Gulf that was smuggling Iraqi oil. Pre 9/11, so we thought we were the king shit.
Yeah, of course.
Then we get back, and then it's almost time to get out, and then 9/11.
Man,
it's like, well, hey, I learned to fight, man. I'm staying. I'll talk to there's a few guys out there that got out in January of 2002. It's like, we kind of had some shit going on, man. Why are you getting out in January 2002? We're going to fight.
That's right.
And we figured that was one of the things where I need to get over to SEAL Team 6. I don't know if I can say that or not. I need to get over to
You can curse all you want on the show.
No, I meant the ST6 word.
Oh, gotcha.
I needed to get over to the Tier 1 team.
Yeah, the Tier 1 team.
And I got to hurry because this war's going to be over soon, is what I thought.
Oh, fuck. Could you imagine it was going to be this long?
No. And then I get over there. Even my first deployment when we were trying to invade, we're not trying to, we actually invaded Iraq.
We're in there.
We were heading over to go through Turkey on a ship. I was technically with SEAL Team 4, and we had to turn around and go swim into Liberia. There was a problem, a civil war, there was a coup, and we were going to go get people out of the embassy. So we had the Marines are invading Iraq, and we're swimming into shark-infested Liberia.
Just so you guys heard that correctly, he said swimming. We had to turn back and swim into.
Yeah, we turned the ship back, and then we launched off the west coast of Africa, which pretty much anything there is trying to kill you.
Everything.
They got sharks. I'm sure there's
big
black
sharks.
mambas and saltwater crocodiles got to be close by. And I'm not sure the hippo story. I don't know if they're over there.
Those are the most dangerous.
They
ever.
are. Someone will correct me. I'm sure. Jellyfish, which are more dangerous than hippos. So we did that, and then I went over to the Tier 1 team and deployed to Afghanistan for the first time. And one of the first missions I was on was to go after Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor. And again, just right time, right place. Horrible situation, but we went up there. That was an incredible coalition to see, because obviously 4 snipers went in, were ambushed. We knew 2 were dead. We were trying to go after Matt Axelson and Marcus Luttrell, but they're not going to fly us in because they shot a helicopter down with 20 guys on it. All those guys are probably dead, but we don't know, so we got to go check. So we have to walk, and we got this coalition of Rangers that were just kick ass. Their snipers are incredible. Marines, obviously, Army guys, Air Force dudes, everyone that could, and we just started walking in.
That's a crew.
Yeah, and we were. It's like it's 100 degrees. We're hiking up mountains
with tons of gear.
Yeah, but we have mules, donkeys carrying some stuff with us, and they would jump off cliffs if we didn't tie them down because it was so bad. Like that's what an animal will do if it's so bad, is they'll just murder themselves. So just we're seeing weird stuff like
You're like, what's going on?
Well,
here?
there was one donkey that jumped off a cliff and it wasn't high enough to kill him, but it was high enough to make him convinced he made a horrible decision in life.
Oh.
So we ended up going there, but we're just watching the coalition work together. And then I wasn't part of the. We went up the hill, down the hill, back up the hill. We got that note from one of the Afghans that brought it to gave it to a Marine, I think, and they brought him to the base. We had an argument with a few 3-letter agencies whether or not it was legit, because what if it's another ambush? But it was, and we went back in. And as we're going up the mountain, even going up the mountain, we'd been awake for 3 days, and it was hot, it was miserable. And I remember looking at a guy and saying, this is why training is so hard, because if we wanted to quit right now, where the fuck are we going to go?
Where are you going to go?
There's nowhere to go. You're here. You're in Afghanistan. You're in the Shuriak Valley in Konar province, and you're going nowhere.
You're pot committed.
And then you're all in. And we got to the top. We're on our way down to get Marcus, and then some Rangers came in and got him, and then it was over. And they pulled Marcus out. A lot of guys recovered the bodies. A lot of guys died, and then we went back to work. Crazy. And that's the first mission.
That was one.
Yeah. That was like my maybe 15th on that one deployment. That's my first deployment with that team.
Man. So it was a lot of the right place, right time.
Oh,
But it was also like slowly getting to those missions. I mean, there's only a small handful of people that can even do it and even get the thumbs up from the government to even do these things. And you guys are constantly trying to sell these things. Hey, let's go here.
Yeah, we turned into the easy button. We were getting called for a lot of stuff. And I credit a lot of my success with my bosses, the senior guys that were there when I first got there, because first of all, you're at this command that is the best, if not one of the 2 best. I love the Army.
Yeah.
But first I'm going to Afghanistan in an urban environment. You think there's going to be a lot of suicide bombers. They're all Taliban and Al-Qaeda. But there are guys that just are out there with guns that aren't bad guys, but they have guns because it's Afghanistan. And
they're afraid and they want...
Yeah, and just trying to hide behind everything, duck in every shadow. But watching my boss with me, he was just very smooth, very cool, not worried. And I just remember thinking, I want to be like him. And that's when I learned, it doesn't even matter what you're feeling. If you can portray calm, your people will be calm. 100%. And just watching how cool he was, and he took me under his wing and he taught me more about the tactics, and I started to grow under him. And it was just the people that I was with made me a better SEAL eventually.
I could not agree with you more. Yeah. Like, it's really important to have the proper mentorship.
Definitely.
At all levels of life, right?
Yes.
I mean, from I've got 2 incredible children, 3 and 5. I am all in hands-on dad. Like, I want to lead by example, show them exactly what's up, because that's what they're going to learn from. And then I try to stay around the best, so then I can in turn, hand that down to them.
Well, we would say it was nice to work where we worked, because every single day I got to go to work with people who were better than me. And they all felt that way. And as opposed to undermining someone, which a lot of people do, I'm going to train harder so I can beat them.
Right.
And I want to learn, what is he doing that makes him lighter? How is he shooting that fast? Both eyes are open. I got to keep them open. And how's he drawn from, where is it fast and slow on the pistol, and why is it so smooth? and just training with each other and being really good. And it was great. It was the best team in the world for a while.
And it's those questions that you have to ask yourself over and over again, like, how do I get better? How do I get better?
Mm-hmm.
You're already on the elitist team there is.
Yeah.
How do we get better? How do we get better?
Working with really, really good people.
That's
and
right.
you got to figure the selection course to get to that command. It's 85% of the people who make it to day one of buds don't make it through. About 85%.
Right.
But the people that make it to one day, we're talking 99% that tried for that didn't make it. So that 1%, 85% don't make it. And then of that, whatever percentage makes it through SEAL training, about less than 1% make it to SEAL Team 6. So these are guys that have been through selection, and they're good. And they know they're good, and they're funny as hell.
And it's type A next to type A
It
next
is.
to type A.
Well, that's why eventually there was some issues, because a lot of guys this good, so close to doing something so big, and they didn't do it. There's going to be professional jealousy, and that's a problem.
100%.
It's a problem. It sucks, but it's true.
And it's, it's part of life. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's going to happen. But it's kind of what you do with it from there. That's why I've loved following your story, and I've loved watching you grow from that, through it, out of it.
Yeah.
And then just like
Growing through a lot of mistakes.
of course.
And some funny people always say, well, aren't you a no-fail person? Like, no fail.
Fail
you know how
every
many
day.
times I fail a day?
Yeah, exactly.
You just learn from it. Okay, I talk to professional football teams, college football teams, and I'll tell them, look, you know what? One of my favorite things is, hey, you know what? That play's over. It doesn't matter why it's 2nd and 15, who missed an assignment. It's just 2nd and 15, and now we got to move forward.
And that's the simplicity of it, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you can have the
Keep
mind.
it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really good phrase for a reason.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if someone said if you only have 3 words to give someone advice for life, I would say, get over it.
That's going to literally.
Get over it.
That's my wife's favorite thing to say. And she says it to me. God bless her. She's like, look, it's over with. Just get over it.
No, well, we have a thing that my dad taught me about wives. What I say with my wife is, I'm really sorry. It's all my fault. It'll never happen again.
That's right. I've said that 85 trillion times.
There he is.
Yeah.
you taught me that.
and that's a perfect segue, because there was something I was reading or listening to about your guys' relationship, you and your dad,
Yes.
where you had to hit 20 free throws
In a row.
Either he did or you did before you could leave practice.
Every day.
Every day.
Yes.
So,
It was 20 in a row, and sometimes it took a while.
of course, I'm a repetition freak.
Yeah.
It's the only
And
way to get good at
it
anything.
gets in your head then. Now it's like, well, I have to do this. I cannot leave because I'll know I cheated myself. And we would do it, but we also had a funny part of the deal where every time our season started, which is, my season ends, our season starts, it's 20 to leave the gym, and it's 20 to get a steak dinner at the Derby, which is our favorite steakhouse. But once you get the steak, it goes up 5. So it's 20 to leave still, but now it's 25 to get a steak.
Of course.
And then it's 30 to get a steak. 20 to leave, 45 to get a steak. And we got to a point, 70. What'd you make? 89. He got 89 free throws in a row, which is incredible. And that was the family record for about a week because I got 105.
That is incredible.
Yeah, but that's just what we did, and it was repetition. It was repetition. It was repetition. You want to be good at something, do it 10,000 times. You'll be good at it.
I try to instill this into everybody that's listening from all over this planet to this show. You're going to suck in the beginning.
Yes.
You're going to be terrible.
You're gonna suck.
You're going to suck, and then you're going to get a little better.
Yeah.
And then a little better. And the only way you fail is if you quit.
Yes,
That's literally,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
I try to keep it so
Well,
simple.
I have kids that want to be SEALs, and they say, "Well, I'm not good at pull-ups. How do I get better at pull-ups?" I'm
Do
like,
more pull-ups.
You do more pull-ups. Well, what did Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters, who's just a great guy, he said,
He is.
"You're all gonna suck. Everyone get an instrument, get in a garage, and suck together." He's never taken a lesson. He plays every instrument out there. Probably still the best drummer in the world.
Incredible.
That's just so funny that the second best. I mean, like the drummer of Foo Fighters is the second best drummer in the Foo Fighters. It's so cool.
I know, and that's the part that's so.
And he's amazing.
It's possible for everybody if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put in the reps, if you're willing to dedicate the time it takes to get good at something. I think you can just do it.
Plus, what the saying we have is, I'm as old as I've ever been, but I'm also as young as I'll ever be.
Oh, I love that.
I saw a tweet from Jocko Willink, who's obviously the toughest man in the world, and someone
Everybody says that, too, I've talked
it's
to.
true, but he's humble and he's
Yeah, I
just
get
don't
it.
make him want to hurt you.
I get
But
it.
he was someone asked him. They said, "What are the prerequisites for starting jujitsu?" And he said, "Breathing." Start.
My son's 5. He's addicted. I'm gonna
That's
have
great.
all my kids in it.
He's going to be able to kick your ass in a few years.
He's already close.
Yeah, it
I'm a pretty
sucks.
strong dude. But it was something I didn't have, right? So I'm trying to do
Oh,
that.
it's great. That's the best thing you do for
It's
him.
the best thing. So he will cry the whole way there, And as soon as we get there, it's like the light switch happens and he's on and he knows what to do.
Yeah.
But that's what I love to talk about on this show, the relationship with father and son, or just, husband and wife. Those relationships and those bonds are very, very important. So your father was teaching you these incredible lessons, and he's spending this time with you, and he's making it.
Well, he was just trying to beat me at one-on-one, which I
of
don't
course,
think he ever did.
I'm competitive too. I'll be competitive with my kids for my whole life.
Oh yeah, but never. I'm kidding. He would beat me, but he never let me win.
Ever.
Don't let me win.
Ever. You're not going to get an 8th place anything.
If you win,
around.
you won.
That's it. Yeah. So for me, it's like, and I just loved hearing when your season stops, our season starts. I just loved the way that sounded, because that encapsulates for me being a dad, right? It's like, look, I'm going to push you and I'm going to spend time with you at the same time, and we're both going to grow from this.
Yeah, good.
And have a blast.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
And it's fun as hell. And then you go have steak if you're good enough.
If you make them.
If you make them.
I mean, if we don't hit the steak thing, but we hit the 20, we're leaving.
Yeah, of course.
And then another funny thing too about muscle memory. Here's a funny one that I would win money off of my friends that would come play with us because they didn't believe this. I said, as soon as we're done playing, and we got sweaty, like we're dripping. I said, as soon as we go in the locker room, my dad will take off his shoes, he will take off his socks, and he will wipe his face with his dirty socks. Watch. And they say, we were in high school, so $10 says he doesn't. I'm like, all right, come on in. Every single time to this day, he does it.
It's repetition.
Hey, repetition. It's part of the follow through.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Certain people are superstitious. Like, if I don't, maybe I'm going to miss them, the next time.
Yeah, it's a superstition. You're gonna, if I don't do it, then I won't make the 20.
Yeah, and that's what comes with being an athlete. I love baseball. I love sports. That's why it's super important for my kids to do what they want.
Baseball. I've thrown out the first pitch a couple times. There was no lonelier place than the pitcher's mound in front of a big crowd. Crazy.
I was a catcher for 14 years. Yeah. I would walk out and calm down some of the toughest athletes. I'm like, do not cry. We're good.
We're good.
Breathe.
I'm right here.
I got you. Block everything out. It is. It's scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's.
I was with my wife. She's from near Boston, and I was throwing out the first pitch at Fenway.
Oh man.
Which was just cool.
Yeah.
And I brought her out there with me in order to calm herself down. She goes, "Don't worry, Rob. No one's watching." And I said, "Jess, fucking everyone's watching, and they all see you too. So just knock it off."
You're probably sitting there counting from 0 to 1,000 again, and from 1,000 back.
Oh yeah. Well, I was able to throw a bunch of practice throws because it's. Personally, I'm not a baseball player, but when I got on a mound, I'm like, I can't tell if he's closer than I think or further than he think.
Far.
But I got good advice from Tony La Russa. He told me not to name drop.
Yeah, of course.
Kid Rock told me it's okay to name drop.
It is. It is.
He said, throw it as hard as you can. No one has ever been booed for throwing it over the pitcher.
It's great advice.
Oh, but you bounce it. They don't give a fuck who you are. You're getting booed in Boston.
You're getting punked, and then there's going to be all these different memes about you now on social media.
Oh, have you seen the bad throws?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I
just don't want to do that.
Yeah, and you just don't want to be that guy.
Well, I was on the mound. I was like, well, at least my favorite player doesn't come out to catch for me. Sure, he did. Pedroia came out. I'm like,
no
God
way.
damn it, I got to throw it. I cannot screw this up.
Yeah, just don't miss.
But it was funny. I threw it to him. He caught it. Thank God. What I told him was a curveball. That's why it wasn't. I just lucky to get it there.
Right.
But we both came to each other and we both said at the same time, "Hey, I'm a big fan." I'm like, that's cool. How do you know who I am?
Yeah, well, and that's the beauty of where we are now. And I feel a huge responsibility to literally give back of all the things that I've learned with the podcast and YouTube and social media and helping people with real estate and investing.
Yeah.
To just like all the stuff I've learned to give back. And I get blown away. I'm like, you follow my show? Like that's...
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. But I love it. Like, and I feel this huge amount of responsibility now to put out all this content because I would give anything to hear a podcast from my great-great-grandfather and his brother.
Oh, yeah, right.
And now this stuff is going to live forever.
Yeah.
My kids, my great-great-great-grandkids will hear this interview.
That's very true. Cool. Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? So for me, it's important for me to be putting out content. So, again, it's part of the story that gets to live on much, much further down the road. Yours is stamped in the history books forever, my friend. Like forever.
That's a weird one. It's such a weird one that there's no way we did all that stuff. It's just I just know the story well. There's no way we went there and did all this. It's crazy to think about now.
Like when Washington was crossing the river.
Yeah, the Delaware.
He had somebody taking notes. Yeah. He had a biographer. Social media now, same thing. Like this stuff is being documented.
Oh yeah.
And it's in there for
sometimes a little too much.
I bet. No, social media is for sure. But like, that's really, really, really powerful and really cool.
It is, yeah.
So, and I just want to hear in your words, I know you've told this story 100 million times, just kind of, you guys got the call. There's somebody, you don't know who it is. You're going to train for it. You finally get to know who it is, and you guys are
we
all
figured
in.
it out in about 3 days.
Yeah.
Because we assumed Libya.
Yeah.
Gaddafi.
And
Arab Spring.
which would make perfect sense for the time of
I even watched the movie Zero Dark 30 the other day, and they
Mm-hmm.
said that in the movie too. It was kind of they did a pretty good job
Yeah.
on that one. But we just assumed it was Libya. We assumed they weren't telling us the airframes because we were superstitious about Ospreys, which are they're helicopters with dual props, but then it turns into a plane. Like the props come down and it's a prop plane now, and we just thought that we had enough to worry about. That they don't need to tell us that's what we assumed. And then they started telling us about where we're gonna go somewhere and get briefed by some people, and they just went down a list on of who's gonna be there, and it just didn't make sense. We think we're going to Libya, and all of a sudden this woman starts talking about Osama bin Laden and Pakistan, and it's like what?
You're like,
And the CEO of SEAL Team blank said he said the reason you guys are here is as close as we've ever been to Osama bin Laden, and to hear that was like, all right.
let's go.
Are we going now? We got the best guys here, so we did, and they just briefed us up on it. We trained on it for a while, which helped because we got to know the exterior of the house really well. We didn't. They said we don't have an interior, and we told them, well, we don't want you to tell us what you think it looks like inside. We want certainties, and don't even tell us how many men, women, and children are there. Tell us how many people you see. We'll figure out the gender when we get there.
That's right.
And the size of it. I don't want you estimating anything, because once we got there, the worst thing happened. And we got like I wasn't in the helicopter that crashed. I was in the other one. I didn't even know the other helicopter crashed.
That story's
And
insane.
so we we just knew where to go based on what we knew about the place.
And you guys trained over and over again, so you guys actually knew the layout.
And it was quite a time because before we left, it was a mission where we couldn't. I mean, at first it was a mission where other guys from other squadrons would say, "Hey, this big secret mission that only a few of you are training for. Where is it?" And we honestly said, "I honestly have no idea." And then we got to know, and word wasn't really spreading, but our families didn't know.
Right.
And you can't tell them. And we accepted death.
Right.
This is one way for one reason. And we accept it because this is what we came for, and this is what life's about, and we're going to fucking kill him. And we're going to die doing it.
And you're going to go get his ass.
He's going to blow himself up, and I'm going to be right next to him. But on that, like saying goodbye to kids, like we talked about our kids, you can't tell them it's goodbye. My youngest kid was she was not in preschool yet, and so I had her to myself, and I took her to Chick-fil-A for our last meal, and she didn't have any idea.
We love Chick-fil-A. We're there all
I
the
know,
time. I could not imagine having my little ones
And
playing
then-
in the little ball area.
And because we're it's a school day, and the only people there is another girl her age and her grandmother, and so they wanted to play in the balls together. They went in the ball pit, and so I sat with her grandmother.
I was going to say, you didn't get to spend time with her, right?
Well, I watched her play,
watched
and
her.
and we had our meal, and I'm talking to this grandmother. I have no idea who she is, and I almost was laughing to myself, like this woman has no idea who she's talking to, and no idea what we're doing tonight.
Just the words out of my mouth, like, what if she knew, like, where
She
you were
probably
going?
doesn't even remember, but if she thinks back, it's just nuts.
That's
But then
amazing.
having a goodbye with the kids, and then you say goodbye, and this is it, and then you drive into work, and you get the 3 minutes to cry on the way in, and then you get there, you see your guys, and like, all right, man,
Game face on.
saddle up.
I could not imagine. So in this 3-day thing that I was doing, it was very intense. We had to write a letter
goddamn, yeah.
that was in a cemetery to our kids as a goodbye letter because the bus crashes. I'm under a tree like a mess, crying right into my, at the time, 1-year-old and 3-year-old. And I'm like shaking, and it's not even real. And just those emotions that came through me.
Well, with mine, like, because my
yours was very real.
my middle kid was 7, and I wrote her a letter, but not to the 7-year-old, but to the 27-year-old, explaining why I'm sorry I missed her wedding. And I'm
going to cry
thanks
right now.
for
Like,
taking care of your sisters, and what we did was noble. I'm sure you were beautiful, and just explaining the mission and why it was good. And it was, I mean, again, it's not even a sad, it's just a focus.
right.
And this is what we're here. Because, I mean, you justify why you're going so many different ways. But one of them was, it's like the Braveheart thing with like, if you lived to the old age of 90 years old and you're on your deathbed, if you could give every day in between tonight and that, would you do it to get that one shot of Bin Laden?
100%,
Hell yeah.
of course,
we're here.
course.
So that's where we're going.
I love
And I
it.
mean, it was to the point where there wasn't, I hate this phrase, but there was no fear anymore. It's like here we go.
Everybody decided.
Yeah, we're going.
Everybody went
Well,
on.
some of the guys I worked with too were so good that they were convinced they're going to live. They're fine. Like there were guys sleeping in the goddamn helicopter, and I'm like, you have ice in your veins. You were literally sleeping on the ride to Bin Laden's house.
Yeah, that's the part where I'm just like,
I was worried about not peeing my pants because I drank so much water because I don't know what else to do.
right, that's such a level of focus to be that calm to block out all the noise of the mission.
Yeah, the noise.
And it's-
A lot of guys were so good realizing there's a lot of stuff that could happen that me worrying about it's not going to help, so I'm going to stop fucking worrying about it.
Yeah, just park it.
Yeah, we're here.
We're going.
Yeah, me crying about a missile that could hit us in the belly is not going to stop the missile hitting us in the belly.
It's just going to make you pee your pants a little
I
faster.
would pee a little faster than I normally would.
So it's what you guys are, the elitist of the elite, but you're a regular dude. Like I can sit here and touch you. You're a regular dude.
Guys.
Sitting here
Even
with your
the goddamn
folks.
dog.
Like,
So we had Cairo, the Belgian Malinois, and we read after the fact that we put these $10,000 or $15,000 titanium teeth in him, and we're like, Cairo had gum disease in one tooth. He was there for his nose. He's a normal dog. He just smells well.
that's the thing. It's like it brings everything down to like
Normal guys,
normal guys,
normal dude
that have normal families. And there was something that you were saying when you guys went on, I think, the mission to get Captain Phillips, where you were at your daughter's school, and there was some guys that were like at home hanging out.
Yeah, mowing their lawns.
Yeah,
I was. It was my birthday, Good Friday, Friday, April 10th, and I was with my daughter at preschool, and I was getting her dessert.
And you're like, ring.
And we get a call. We used pagers at the time.
Oh, right.
And I got a page, and it said the code word, and we sort of knew what was happening. Like, this is real. And that was, we trained on something like this since the command was, since inception. But we knew what this was, and this isn't a drill, and we're going in, and we're going to go get, they're sending us for one reason, and we're going to get them. And we'd been selling, it had never been done, not once for real, not once in 25 years.
Right.
And we'd been selling from the time you tell us we can be wheels up, taking off with all the parachutes, all the boats, everything we need in 4 hours. Something like that.
Yeah, ish, right. But yeah, you're like, but we can go for sure.
We were a minute under the time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so we did that, and it was just kind of a relief. But then we realized, we never thought of this, but there's a boat a lifeboat being towed by a Navy cruiser. We'd never thought of that. How are we going to get this? So we just, on the flight over, it's like, okay, everyone here in both planes, come up with a plan, and we'll just talk about them all. And not one came up with the plan of, well, let's put snipers down and blast them. We just put snipers down
as like cover
to watch, just to watch,
right?
Protect them, make sure nothing unsafe happens.
Right.
And we were preparing for the rescue. We all had different plans, and something unsafe happened, and they took the shots. And like as simply as I just said it and fast, that's exactly how it went down. People don't realize that 4 days before the most difficult shots of their lives, those three snipers were in their own beds in Virginia Beach. We'd never done it in 25 years. Why did their guns need to be sighted in for the most difficult shots of their lives?
In the ocean.
Because they're prepared.
Because they're over-prepared every single time.
And it saved the guy's life.
Oh, man.
Good shots.
Great.
And what was cool about that, they made a movie about it, which was a good movie. Great movie, actually.
Yeah.
But at the end, you can see all the snipers they take the shots, and they put their bipods up, and they turn around and leave. They don't say a word. And that was kind of what happened, because I talked to one of the snipers, and you got to figure this is before the Bin Laden raid, and I said, you realize you just did the most famous and ballsy thing in the history of the SEAL teams now? And his response was, cool, can we go home?
Just like, that's it.
I know.
It's like a half-cock shot, like from far away.
Yeah.
It was like, it's not going to go, and then it...
Right through a scope.
Right through.
Yeah. But they got those guys, and it was just that, mission accomplished.
Let's go back.
But then what's funny about the mission is with training scars, we thought of everything. We'd rehearse. You know what we never rehearsed? Once we do it, if we ever rescue someone, how are we getting home?
How do you turn around? Right?
We had no way to get home. It took us like 3.5 weeks to get home.
You're kidding.
No, we didn't. No one knew what to do with us. And they're like, well, what if another mission comes up? Like, we literally have what we jumped in. I'm wearing the same skivvies.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, we need to use the ship's laundry, and they brought us to Nairobi, Kenya. We sat there, and they flew us to one of the Middle East countries, and we hung out there. And
that's how we roll, though, right? Like we went
shopping. The Navy gave us contingency funds, and we went shopping in the fake Middle East
bazaars,
Oakley stores. So we're wearing fake Oakleys and like kick-ass, really like kind of short shorts that Dennis Rodman would wear with the Pistons.
I bet you guys look awesome.
We look incredible.
I bet you guys look so
Hitting
good.
on every chick in the base.
Yeah, you're like, hey,
No, but seriously, how you doing?
how you doing? I got some Oakleys, white Oakleys, like just the worst.
Well, they
ones
had so this is an R&R base. I can't for the life of me think of Cutter. And there's an R&R base for all the troops in Iraq. They get like 2 weeks there to de-escalate, and they have these little bars to serve beer, and you get like 2 beers per day. You eat your rations. And we would you could tell the Army guys that weren't drinking. It's like, hey man, I need you to get 2 beers so I can have them. And we always got as many beers as we want. Finally, the Army started saying, yeah, there's these NCIS guys pretending to be SEALs that are seeing if you'll give them their beer.
wasted.
It's like, come on, no, but they think we're seeing if they'll give up their. It's funny,
of course.
And this is after we rescued Richard Phillips, and we're still not home yet.
That's the part that a lot of people just don't ever know.
No.
Like, we went in, we got this, and then we got some
Then
fake
what?
Oakleys.
Yeah.
We farted around, drank some beers,
Yeah,
and we tried to figure out how to get home.
How to get home?
For 3 weeks.
Yeah.
When I was talking to this is like a weird tangent. When I was talking to Drago about when he left the SEALs, they forgot about him
Yes.
for a while.
When he was in Iraq.
When he was in Iraq.
I know. He kept calling me. I was on my way to go to the Tier 1 command, so I'm hanging out at SEAL Team 4, and they gave me a job that's called the Master at Arms, which means I'm in charge of the workout in the morning, and then I make sure everyone does cleanup after, and I basically have no responsibilities.
Right.
He knew that number, and I was there, and he would call from Iraq and just say, hey, let them know in the stick. Let them know that it's okay. And it's like, dude, it's not okay. You don't have orders. You're over there killing people.
You're still over there.
Yeah, he's working with SEAL teams and doing legit stuff, but it's like, you're not on orders anymore, man. You got to.
He's like, you got to come back.
Yeah.
And then he came back, landed with it was like his duffel bag. No one to pick him up. He's like, now what?
Yeah, now what do I do?
Now what do I do?
Oh, and he was awesome over there.
Oh, I love the stories because again, these are real people. These are real.
Oh, his story is
Americans.
incredible because he was in a Russian gulag in communist Poland. Fake teeth because I got kicked in. Escaped, became a champion kickboxer. Learned English apparently on the flight to the United States and became a SEAL, which is the most boring thing he's ever done.
Right, and then got married. His wife is awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
He's
just-
awesome.
Yeah, so I love these stories because they're from real people that have real stories and real families.
Yeah, I encourage everyone that's done anything in the wars or in the military to tell their stories. Don't worry about potential backlash.
Yeah, and that's why the book is so incredible though, because it's your story.
It was so funny when I wrote The Operator, which is approved by the Pentagon, by the Department of Defense, by the agencies. And then people saying, well, you just shouldn't have written a book because that's not what veterans do. I'm like, have you been to the military history section of Barnes & Noble's? There's been a few books written, and we're glad they are.
I had a hard time finding yours.
I don't know what that is.
It was like literally everywhere. So that's
RobertJO'Neill.com. Signed copies. I got them there.
And believe me, we're going to go deep into that as we start to kind of turn the corner. But with that, okay, so I've been jumping around like crazy. But okay, so you guys breach Osama's house.
Yes.
And you guys are trying to figure out who's where, who's what. You guys are going in, and the team's going in to basically clear the rooms.
Yes.
And you guys had definitive intel that there's stairs.
Yes.
And at the top of the stairs is
Khalid bin Laden.
Is Khalid. So, and that's like the last line of defense to get to
the way that the woman that found bin Laden told us was if you take care of Khalid on the stairs, you get a shot at the big guy.
She sounded like a savage.
She is a savage.
Yeah.
Just completely cool in every sense of the word.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So you guys see him.
I did not.
You did not.
I was about 8 guys back going up the stairs because of where we landed. I was originally going to be on the rooftop team, one of the first ones to try to get in bin Laden's bedroom. But because we landed outside, I was in the back now, which all that means is that I got a front row seat to the coolest mission in modern history. I got to watch cool guys do really cool stuff. And I remember I was just proud of the guys. Like everyone here is so calm. Everyone knows this building should blow up on top of all of it. Not going to worry about it because again, worrying about it's not going to help. And if I get up there, maybe I can beat them to it.
That's right.
So when we got to the stairs, there's 8 guys in front of me and just all badasses. And I should have taken some guys back, grabbed them and pulled them in because they're going upstairs and Khalid's up there. And if he throws a grenade down the stairs, instead of getting 9 of us, they'll only get 4 of us, which sucks. But But I'm gonna
Those are the hard decisions you have to
I'm gonna
make,
die in
though.
this house anyway.
That's right.
And I really want to watch this.
I wanna watch.
I want to watch it go down. What's he gonna do? What is my friend gonna do right now?
Yeah, some cool shit.
Well, yeah, because I'm looking at a banister and looking up the stairs. There's one of my best friends,
Yep.
separated by 10 inches and a banister from a guy that I hate that I've never met. Mm-hmm. They both have automatic weapons and they're trying to murder each other.
I'm watching.
I'm fucking watching.
100%.
Yeah, and he just whispered to him.
Oh, that's right.
He just whispered his name and said, "Come here, in 2 different languages." And he knew Khalid spoke the language, very common. Khalid just kind of came around because we were so quiet; they weren't really sure what was happening. Khalid made himself visible with a weapon. He's a threat.
Whoops.
Shot him in the face 2 feet away. And I again, it was something like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, which is true until about
Now.
8 seconds later.
Right.
Yeah. So then, we went up the stairs, stepped over Khalid. The guys in front of me cleared the left and right. They cleared. It's so weird. I can close my eyes and see it.
That's awesome.
Crazy. I just know the story really well.
Of course.
And then they're clearing the left and right. And then the guy, I think it was the same guy that killed Khalid, was pointing up the stairs, and there was a curtain, and then it was just me and him. And he's pointing up. He's not looking back. I put my hand on his shoulder because I'm going to control him so he knows he's got guys. And he just started letting me know that he didn't, not me, but his guy. He knew it was a guy, one of his guys, that we got to go. We got to get up there now because he saw people moving behind the curtain, and they're putting us. These are the suicide bombers, and again, we can beat them. And I remember looking at, just thinking, and I can remember going up the stairs and just, it was not bravery at all. It was, let's get it over with.
Yep.
I'm tired. Is it going to kill me? How bad is it going to be? How big is the explosion?
How fast?
Tired of thinking. We went up, he moved the curtain. He jumped on the people he thought were, this fast. Jumped on the people we thought were suicide bombers. He went one way, I had to go the other. There's Bin Laden standing there. 3 feet away. He's pushing them all to me. And that's him. Look how skinny he is. He's tall. That's his nose. He's not turning. He's a threat. I had to shoot him. Shot him twice, shot him again, moved the wife. I can hear him taking his last breath. I can hear it. And then his 2-year-old son's in there, and you get mixed emotions with, this poor kid's got nothing to do with this. Pick him up, put him next to his wife on the bed, and then other SEALs are coming in. Because, I mean, they couldn't have been too far behind us. And then it sort of sunk in. And one of my guys came up, and he's smiling. SEALs are funny. And he's like,
Of course.
He literally goes, are you good? And I said, nah, no. What do we do now? And he laughed, and he goes, now we go find the computers.
Intel.
Like, you've done this
Every day.
hundreds of times with us. And I said, you're right. Holy shit. And he said something along the lines of, yeah, bro, you just killed Osama bin Laden, but let's get to work.
Yeah, time to go.
And I thought my life
So
just
rad.
changed. And I remember thinking, man, is this the best thing that's ever happened or the worst? That for me personally, because
Right.
even when I was, someone mentioned to me one time, it's like, well, we don't even know how to handle this. It's like almost like if we were talking to the guy who killed Hitler. And I said, well, Hitler killed himself. And they go, exactly.
Right.
We don't know how to handle it. And again, it's not
That's a great point.
It's not me. The team did it. I turned a corner because another guy went forward.
Right.
That's all that happened. Tactics that were invented by someone long before me.
Correct.
I turned the corner because I'm supposed to.
Well, and you were chosen. Like, that was your calling. I believe we're all here on a path, and that was your
Well,
path.
I always joked about that. I would fuck with my mom and say, Mom, don't worry. Don't worry about me ever because I'm here to do something special.
That's
Just
right.
ease her mind. And I'd say that's from training, from day one. And then I called her a few days later. I said, hey, Mom, it's okay to start worrying now because I think that special
actually
thing,
happened.
that's got to be it. I can't think of anything else it could be.
Until,
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I'm good. Someone else.
yeah,
can-
you're like, I'm good now.
Yeah. I'm almost hoping his son Hamza gets more famous so someone else can deal with this
Take him out.
bullshit. Yeah.
You're like, I've already done it. I'm going to go over here, and I'm good. Well, man, I am so thankful and so honored that you took the time.
Oh, this has been fun.
I really want to dive into your foundation.
Yes,
Like, I was
so-
blown away.
So the way that started was May of 2011, we killed bin Laden. And it was the greatest time in the history of our lives. And then in August of 2011, we lost a helicopter and 31 Americans, 17 guys from our command were killed. Became the worst. We went from planning parties to planning funerals.
Yeah.
And it's kind of we've kind of done this. I was dealing with some personal stuff with, again, like the professional jealousy that you see. And it's like kind of sad to see everything deteriorate. Morale went to shit for a lot of reasons. Like, well, he did this. Now is he talking about it? What's going on with this and all this shit? Now we lost these guys.
Petty.
And I realized, I need to get out. But we need more guys to go to war because we just lost 1,000 years worth of combat experience.
That's right.
So I'm going to go over one more time. So I went overseas, one more deployment with a different squadron. Bin Laden wasn't even the last guy I killed with that gun. Crazy. But then I decided I'm going to get out. And so the Navy had given me a terminal, when I got back, about 6 months of terminal leave to figure out what I'm going to do. And little known fact, if you don't do 20 years, you don't get a pension, and the Navy doesn't give a fuck about you when you leave. They're not going to pay the mortgage. They're not paying your kids' health care. You got to figure something out. So I was terrified.
I heard all that shit from Drago. I was like, you got to be kidding me. He's like, that's why we have the SEAL Foundation, which like we've given tons to the SEAL Fund.
So what I didn't know at the time, but I realized, like we talked about earlier, I had skills that I had acquired from bosses and mentors in the Navy, and then you learn by leading, and so me leading other guys, that people want this stuff. They want the dynamics. They want the charisma. They want shit like that. Like they want to hear the stories. So I started a foundation called Your Grateful Nation, which transitions veterans to the private sector. It's the same thing, because they'd rather go to war than fill out a resume, because war makes sense to them.
Because they don't know their options.
And a lot of these employers now they don't want to hire someone that has a 4-year degree in gender studies.
Nope.
But you give them a Green Beret with 15 years combat experience. The employers say, usually, because the way it works is we find out where the vet wants to live. Now, what industry do you want? Then we find that industry, and they'll say, I need 9 months to train them up. And then all of a sudden, they have the best employee they've ever hired.
Ever. That's why I've been a firm believer in this for years. Olympic athletes and military, especially operators.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding
And we got
me?
everyone, too. So we've got SEALs, Rangers, Green Berets, Task Force 160th pilots. Like I said Rangers, I hope. All tons of Army guys. And they're all getting hired, and I'm talking upper management stuff for major projects, and then they're all getting promoted.
Of course.
Yes.
And they're probably lapping everybody. The best work ethic.
Yeah.
Loyal
Loyal.
could be.
They don't give a shit about adding this job to their resume to get a better job.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sick today. I'm not coming in.
I got this.
It doesn't exist.
And effective communication, all that stuff. So yourgratefulnation.org. And it's worth checking out. And I did find out it's very expensive to run a foundation. So anything with word of mouth or donations. I also learned how much my fair share is.
Yep.
In taxes. Isn't that fun?
That's always a nice slap in the face. Of like, wait a minute, this is what everybody pays in taxes?
Oh, it's so funny when they say, how much are you getting back in April? It's like, getting back.
That's what I teach you guys how to
incorporate.
incorporate. But that's the thing. Like, there's so many things that people don't know, because like you've been in the military for so long, you don't know how to strategize and work. That's why this book right here is so important. The last chapter is dedicated to VA loans and how they can buy duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes, live in one of the units,
Rent the other ones out. I just learned that. That's awesome.
And live for free.
Yes.
This is a huge part of my mission. Like with this book, it's like, because I was raised by a single mom, if she would have done that, her retirement would look very, very different now. Mm-hmm. We would have been fine in every single kind of cycle. But when you leave the military, there's guys that are sleeping in trailers that could literally go buy a fourplex, become a landlord with a zero down.
Yeah, there's systems out there that will give you the loan that most banks won't. They're out there.
There's tons of programs.
Yeah. And a VA loan's a great deal.
It's a great deal.
Yeah.
And so that mixed up with your foundation and the stuff you're doing, I want to get a ton of firepower behind what you guys are doing.
I'm in.
I love it. I mean, it's literally, you can't train it. I don't care what college you went to. You're not getting
It's still not going to train that real world experience you're going to get.
No. And the decision making quickly.
Plus, chances are, if someone needs to get their ass kicked, the guy we give you can do it.
Yeah, to be like, do you want him to come handle the meeting?
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Put him in HR.
Yeah, don't fuck with that guy. Do not get them in HR. That's probably like the one caveat. Be like, don't go to HR.
Yeah.
You're going to implode everything.
And take the Copenhagen out of your mouth, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's part of the deal, though. It's just like,
just not at the office.
Yeah, you're just not at the office, And so my brother-in-law, he dipped for a million years. I think he maybe stopped, but it was what he would do. He would come home, throw in Copenhagen, and watch a movie like every day for like 20 years.
I was at a point where I would eat my meal really, really quickly so I could have a Copenhagen. The post-meal Copenhagen.
Yeah, of course.
And I quit. I quit a while ago.
Yeah, it's hard. My father-in-law had a question, and it was Butch Sloss was how, and he loves guns, loves the military, incredible human being. Was like, how hard is it being so much in the public now with all the stuff that's happened? And we kind of touched on it a little bit, but just like, how much of it is just a pain in the ass, or have you just totally punted all of like the negativity?
It's been, for the majority, it's been really positive.
Yeah.
And, people do have the question about security, and I had to make a lot of changes, and security's out there. And it's something I've been trained with, and I know how to do. It sucks. Mm-hmm. And they only have to be right once.
Right.
And it just sucks. But when I run into people, it's been positive. Twitter's a different story. Boy, people are mean.
Right?
People are mean
all
on
these
Twitter.
Keyboard cowboys out there like, I'm so tough back here.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you come over here?
Yeah,
we'll have a little chat.
Well, it's even like the Bin Laden conspiracy theorists. Because a lot of people out there don't like it because we never showed the pictures and it was under the Obama administration, so they don't want to believe we did it. And it's like, I don't care, but like it's not just oh, we got Bin Laden. It's like, think about what we did with our kids before we left. Like we took a risk and we got them.
It doesn't matter what side of the thing you sit on, left or right or whatever.
And then boy, when they correct my tactics, like, get over it, Airsoft.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like you're literally critiquing.
Yeah,
the elite.
We got it.
We
got
it.
Getting hit with paintballs a different thing than getting shot at with a real gun.
Well, you don't understand. I hunt deer.
Yeah, I always love the finger and the trigger. Your finger's and trigger in that picture. It's like, I don't just pull the trigger. If I want, you don't worry about where my finger is.
It's like somebody judging the greatest basketball player to ever live. Like you didn't dribble correctly. Like I'm good with the basketball.
Magic Johnson dribbled too high. He had the chest. No, the chest.
No, I know, but it's like that worked for him.
It worked all right.
He was okay. So where can everybody find you?
RobertJO'Neill.com
Okay.
is the place to start. And we've got the good stuff there. The books, we sell books for sale. There's some cool merch, all that stuff out there. And then that Robert J. O'Neill will lead you to rjoapparel.com and to yourgratefulnation.org. But it's all there. The hub is robertjo'neill.com. EILL.
Yes, EILL.
Shaq put a speed bump out there for us.
Sure did. So, and then when you're on Twitter and
Mikuya.
At
MCHOOYAH. The reason I have that is because some SEAL friends and I were joking around and they said this new Twitter thing is hilarious. You can talk shit and no one knows who you are. So I started Mikuya because they say Huya and Buds, and I'm Irish, so Mikuya, the Irish Huya. And then I woke up one day because apparently my name leaked because I had like 15,000 followers. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm Mikuya now.
Welcome to social media.
Yeah. But I got the blue check mark. So Robert J. O'Neill is at Mikuya.
Now you're official.
Yes.
You've been verified.
I'm officially, yeah. I can officially get in trouble for shit that I say.
Yeah, exactly. You and me both, my friend.
Don't drink and tweet.
Yeah. But if you do, whatever. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's why we have PR teams.
If it's out there, it's out there, though. Don't think deleting a tweet gets rid of a tweet.
No.
Yes.
No. So, yeah.
The Twitter needs an edit button.
Well, so there is one-ish, but it still kind of lives out there. You have to submit something to have it actually taken down. But everybody screenshots stuff so fast now.
Yeah.
It's out there. Someone's going to retweet the screenshot.
Yeah.
So it's just the it's the shit we live in now.
That's funny.
But follow this man. Follow his story. Follow his stuff on Instagram. Follow his humor. Go buy his book. The book is ridiculous. If you are an employer out there, if you have a company, small company or big company, go to yourgratefulnation.com. .org and look into this. I was blown away because this makes so much sense. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why this shouldn't be the first place you look to hire anybody.
Certainly. And I tell you what, the best email I get usually once a week now is having a spouse say, we would not have gotten our second career without yourgratefulnation.org. And giving veterans, giving veterans and their families a second. And again, they get out and they're turns out the Army doesn't pay you that much. These guys are making almost what they deserve.
Yeah, and like there's a blend in how you can have a new career, have your retirement, and then buy some real estate. Yes. Put your flag in the dirt, and like you're good. Mm-hmm. And then go about everything. So thank you again for your time.
Absolutely.
So much fun chopping it up.
Yep.
Head over there, buy everything you can from his website, and then we will see you guys next time. I'm very much like a family person, and just.
I was going to sit over there and wipe my brow with a sock.
Yeah, with the sock.
But that's not would have broken.
We can get it on film.
I still do that to this day.
I bet.
It's that you sit down and you're sweating and you start taking the clothes off and the socks come off and I just have to wipe my face.
Put some wings or a cookie. Do one to Grayson and Jackson. I'd like to have them.
One to Grayson, Gray.
Grayson. Yeah, Grayson, and then you can use the same one as Jackson, Jackson.
One book each?
No, actually, for them both, because I'm gonna call you guys and I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of them. What's happening, guys? We just wrapped an incredible interview with Robert O'Neill. Such a great guy, like salt of the earth, funny guy. Got to hang out with him and his family. Go check out his book, The Operator. Go to his website, robertjo'neill.com, robertjo'neill.org. Go check out his foundation. He's doing some incredible things. If you have a company, you're looking to hire retired military operators from special forces, go to his foundation. He's helping people get placed in these incredible careers after they retire. Do you know how great it is to have a special forces person on your sales team, marketing team, whatever? The level of loyalty and commitment is ridiculous. This is a perfect fit. If you have a company, go check this thing out. Go follow Robert, buy his book, just an incredible guy.